Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite talk show in English in Central Europe, and mine too. It's called There's a Will, and there must be a reason why. I suppose they'll tell me, the guests will tell me, and explain that to me. At any rate, I have a great show. We have a great show, and I'll be introducing the guests after I tell you a little story. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never thought of dogs as geniuses. Maybe that's a failing on my part, but a recent study came to my notice when I was thinking of buying a puppy for Christmas for my goddaughter. She's been keen on a canine companion for some time. I suggested a hamster, but somehow that didn't do the trick. At any rate, while scouring the market for an adorable and cost-effective mutt, I was stopped in my tracks by this recent study out of Budapest. All the latest dog research comes out of Central Europe. It probably won't surprise you. Anyway, the study was called "Dogs Are Not as Smart as You Think." This came as no surprise to me, though I did once have an Alsatian I caught casually flipping through the libretto for Tannhauser. Many dog owners will be happy to tell you how smart their four-legged friend is. And it's true, from time to time, man's best friend may seem to know exactly what you're saying. For example, "Hey, Fido, those are my shoes you just peed on." However, researchers in Hungary say brain scans show dogs actually can't figure out the difference between words they know and ones that sound very similar but mean nothing. That doesn't surprise me, but apparently it did the researchers in Hungary. At any rate, a team from an unpronounceable university examined a group of untrained dogs from the local community. That's local community. For example, a dog's brain tends to react the same way when they hear hot dog as in food, or hot dog as in a warm hound. Or sit and the other word that sounds like sit and requires a similar position. Dogs can only learn a number of words throughout their lives. This is true, according to researchers. But does this really surprise you? This prompts a question, however. What the heck is going on in the canine brain? I ask myself. You're probably wondering the same thing at home. You all remember that scene from The Parallax View, from Clockwork Orange, wrong film, where Malcolm McDowell is strapped into a chair. His eyes are kept open by elaborate toothpick-type devices as he's forced to watch a brainwashing film. Well, this is nothing like that. At any rate, they use an EEG, whatever that means. I think it's some kind of, test. And it's just a common method of examining, oh, here it says it, brain patterns. They measure brain patterns. But dogs are usually sleeping when the scientists use this procedure on them. Once relaxed, the researchers attach these non-invasive electrodes, as opposed to the invasive kind, to each dog's head using tape. And with the electrodes in place, each dog listens to recordings of humans saying different things with instructions of words like sit or whatever. This is not to be confused with the other close-sounding word, which I mentioned before. Of course, some dogs who came to the experiment could not settle down and could not perform the measurement. The dropout rate from the study was similar to the dropout rate in logic classes amongst millennials at Budapest University, according to a postdoctoral researcher at the Department of Ethology, whatever that is. This leads us to the main query. Just how big is a dog's vocabulary? And the answer is, I have no idea. But they say, these researchers in Budapest say, that a dog's vocabulary is very similar to the vocabulary of a 14-month-old child. Okay, so at any rate, they're obviously fairly incoherent. In conclusion, I would say that while dogs may be candidates for a Noam Chomsky study on the origins of speech, they will never write War and Peace, we can be safely assured, not even with typewriters like monkeys doing Shakespeare or whatever it was. Nor will they ever understand the immortal opening lines of Tolstoy's masterpiece. What's up, Doc? And that's all we've got. So we'll be right back with our guests and the show. And, well, you might have to guess their identity, because they'll be wearing curious face coverings. See you in a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. I'd like to introduce our very exciting panel. We are wearing masks, and the reason we're wearing masks is, I suppose, obvious to you. So I won't go into explaining that, but it will go with the motif of both this show and our next show, which will be a review, a retrospective of 2020. So apologize for that, but you're probably used to wearing masks yourselves, and we will soldier on. But let me introduce the panel. On the end of the panel, some people call him my Ed McMahon. I call him my Ed McBoy. It is the inimitable and sartorially resplendent, as usual, Nicholas No Relation Richardson. Welcome, Nicholas.
Thank you. Delighted to be here, Will, as always.
Yes, I bet you have. I can't tell what if you're. Are you smiling at me or not?
No.
You're not smiling. I can't. Now he is. I can see the crinkly eyes.
The crinkly eyes. Yeah.
You sneaky fella. And next to him, I'll come to our lady guest last, of course, with due respect for Agnes. Her name's Agnes. Guy, welcome to the show. Guy the Spy, we call him. He has knowledge so arcane that even 007 took lessons from him. And in fact, he left the Foreign Office to become the king of clearing up mess, and runs a series. He's one of Poland's most successful entrepreneurs of the last 5 years, and a good friend, and a multi-millionaire magnate who is in the Forbes 5 million. And so I'd like to welcome Guy Pensent. Thank you for being here, Guy. And of course, to my right, the lovely, the unbelievably pulchritudinous Agnes Pasquale. She has a Middle Polish name. I can't remember what it is. What is it?
I don't have one.
You don't have one. She doesn't have a Polish name.
You lied.
Okay. I lied once again, and it won't be the last time. And I can tell you about Agnes that Peter O'Toole once said to her, "Ready, steady, go." And I'm not. She didn't say what happened after that, but who cares? It's Peter O'Toole. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. And on the horn, I call it a horn because it's not. But that in the old days, you used to call the phone the horn. He's actually joining us by Skype. The amazing, I feel like I'm introducing a magician or something. The amazing Harold Count von Kursk, who is in Tallinn wearing his purple scarf and looking absolutely as Christmassy as possible, aren't you, Harold? And now it's time for a word from Estonia.
Ranger and members of the Clanton Gang.
The Clanton Gang? Are you gonna rob the Northfield, Minnesota bank there?
Well, you guys appear to be.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny.
Your level of discomfort. It mirrors what everybody else is going through right now.
It just mirrors everything, doesn't it? I'm getting used to it. My glasses will fog up at a certain point, and I may have to cheat a little bit with the nose piece. But if I start going like this, you'll know why. Harold. I remember the old days when if you went to a bank wearing a mask, people would look at you odd. But nowadays, you go to the bank, they throw you out without a mask. Is it the same in Estonia, Harold?
Well, no one is wearing masks when they walk in the street. The only mask provision is when you enter malls or restaurants, not while you're eating, of course. But there's no general sign of a lockdown here. We don't have a lockdown at present. The only thing which is closed, I believe, are the movie theaters.
Aha, and that's not good for you because you love to go to your theater and see the movie on the big screen, don't you?
Well, I don't, and they don't have particularly good theaters here.
So you just gainsayed everything I said. Okay, cut him off.
With the advent of
Harold, you've been telling me for years that you love to go and watch on the big screen, but obviously you don't.
Well, in years past, yes. But with the advent of streaming, it's so much more comfortable when you have a 70-inch screen TV that you just rather bloody watch it at home via Netflix or Amazon Plus or whatever streaming platform you have.
Yeah, you don't see a difference in the big screen. We'll talk about movies later. We're going to talk about movies. You're going to give us your list later of the 7 all-time holiday hits. Because Harold, unknown to some of our viewers, or all of them, is and probably unknown to you, Harold is actually a film critic for a long time and has probably met almost as many people in show business as Agnes has in her career in New York, because Agnes was working in show business in New York for quite a while, maybe 10 years or something.
18.
18 years at your age? She started when she was only 10. That's
I was
incredible.
born to do this job.
You don't look a day over 28. And
it's the mask. It's the mask.
Say the same thing to me. Say the same thing to me. Come on, that was your opening. Come on.
Sure,
You're not doing your job, Nick. You're supposed to say, oh, Will, you too look
Not a day.
wizened. Okay. All right, Harold, anything else we should know about what's going on in Estonia before we move on to discuss COVID? There's no place like COVID for Christmas.
Well, everybody is starting to load up on their holiday glöggi, which is the Estonian variant of Swedish glögg.
Yeah.
I happen to have
Oh, show us.
a bottle on hand.
One day you'll visit us and you'll bring some glöggi for us. It'll probably be in the middle of July, but, we can still pretend, right? So anyway, folks, what are you doing? What are you going to do for the holidays? Because what the heck? It's hard to travel. I mean, I'm going to be traveling. Nick, you're going to England,
I'm
right?
going to throw caution to the wind and travel to England.
You're going to go to England?
For a short time.
Yeah, for what, a week or something?
Yeah, a week.
Yeah, and you'll be seeing your parents and
Well, I'll be seeing
your
my
father.
My father, yes.
Yeah.
All being
Yeah.
well. I mean, there'll be very limited movement because of the restrictions in England.
Yeah,
And technically, I'll be in quarantine, so people probably have to come and see me.
people have to come and see you. You'll be in quarantine for what? How long?
Well, I think it's now 10 days in England,
10 days?
or 14 days. But you can leave quarantine to return to leave the country, so it won't be a complete disaster.
Okay. Yeah, what about you, Guy?
Off to Finnish Lapland, up in the snowy north.
Yeah, you're going to be up there close to Santa Claus.
Indeed, yeah.
It's interesting because we will have Santa Claus later in the program.
Oh,
He will
really?
be,
Okay.
we're going straight to him by
Yeah.
satellite.
And apparently no quarantine there if you've had COVID within the last 3 months, which fortunately in this circumstances I have. So you just sort of declare to the Finnish authorities, I'm good.
You had it.
I had it,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're actually, you don't need to be wearing a mask because
Rules
he's
are
actually,
rules.
and you've got a paper
Yeah.
to prove it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't know. We may have had it too.
Exactly.
I had a low-grade headache for about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
It was very strange. What about Agnes? What are you doing for the
I'll
holidays?
be going to the south of Poland, near Rzeszów, to go spend some time with my family and my mom. We'll be doing all the traditional Polish things for Christmas. We'll be doing pierogies and fish. And
Carp in the bathtub.
Oh, no.
Fishing for carp in the bath?
Live carp in the bathtub.
Put a live carp in the
That is
bathtub.
quite a tradition that I'm
you still
not
do that?
very
Do you
fond
still?
of. No, we don't, actually. We do salmon.
Right. Yeah.
Some people introduce carp wrestling for the children. It's a children's game.
It's funny, I was in the
Carp wrestling.
supermarket yesterday or the day before, and they had their tank of live carp crushed together.
Yeah.
But rather oddly, the tank of carp had been removed from the fish section of this particular supermarket and was located in the DIY section.
You catch your own carp.
You catch your own carp. But it seems very cruel. I mean, it's so much effort to go to for a fish, which is, very
Well, it's a
undesirable.
bottom-feeding fish. It's not the
It eats,
tastiest
it eats
fish.
mud, it tastes of mud, it's full of bones.
Yeah.
Harold, what kind of fish do you eat up there in Estonia? Do you wrestle with a carp or something on Christmas? What do you do?
A lot of people enjoy salmon, cooked in various different ways, poached or grilled. Grilled is my favorite choice, and you can buy it in every major supermarket. But the Estonians, they prefer a variety of dishes, including duck, as well as chicken, as well as fish over Christmas. There's no one particular culinary tradition, unlike Germany, where it's very strictly, meat and potatoes in the grimmest sense. But then again, the Germans are not known for their humorous side.
Nor for their culinary side. Let's face it.
Certainly not. It's like England.
It's like England, yeah. There's something about those Anglos. Here we go. What about my roast, whatever it is?
Yes, exactly.
Roast goose.
Yes,
that's the thing in England.
That's the wonderful
Goose.
Christmas.
And venison.
Yeah, and venison, of course.
Yes.
Go out and assassinate a deer.
And game birds as well. Partridge, pheasant.
Yeah, there's too many deer anyway. We need to clear them out, or they'll take over.
And
Yeah.
if you're ever in Africa, kudu is very nice.
A who?
Kudu.
You do.
Yeah, they're a big antelope. They're very tasty.
What the
And
heck? What do you do? Like
actually
wrestle them down yourself and
No.
Is
take
this
a bite out of their flank?
Christmas,
No, and also, actually, while we're on the subject of animals to eat, bison in Poland are very nice.
What about? I've always
I've
always
bison.
favored a nice roasted yak.
Yes.
You mean wild boar?
No, a yak. Harold knows what I'm talking about.
Don't talk back.
Harold, what are you doing what will you do for your holidays there? Anything special?
Unfortunately, I have 2 screenplays to complete, one of which I've already been paid for. So I have my work cut out for me. And because of the coronavirus, there's only one possibility of female company for me right now, and she's visiting her parents in Germany. So that's the extent of it.
Great
But I shall.
stuff.
I have my TV. I have my Netflix subscription to keep me company, and that'll be how I shall be spending Christmas, along with
Glögg, your constant friend.
my only friend.
Oh, no,
My
we're here for you, Harold.
That's like a Doors song, isn't there? A line of Doors song. That
We'll
sounded-
be your friends.
We're your
Just
pals.
a minor amusement via FaceTime from Germany, but that's the extent of it.
Yeah, but have you tried Tinder? Because I understand that's going to be popular there. But you're worried about
In
COVID. I suppose.
coronavirus times, I think Tinder is equivalent to what the United States is doing as they're undergoing their self-immolation in most of the red states.
You mean they're burning themselves up? They've actually constructing pyres and burning themselves?
Effectively.
Did I get
when you have
immolation? Is that
people
what it means?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I mean, with Marco Rubio and Tom Cotton.
Wait, I got to check with our producer who's got a dictionary to make sure I got that right. Immolation means burning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. And
But what about Polish Christmas? I mean, none of you will be in well, only.
well, I won't be. I'll be in the United States. But Agnes will be here wrestling carp. And she's very good at it, from what I hear. At least on Facebook, she's advertising.
I have medals in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, do you grease your body up when you get in there and just grab it by the snout?
No, it's the most the snout.
You grab it by the snout? Do they have snout?
Are we still talking about fish or now different animals? Do they
I
have
don't know.
snouts?
I didn't know your private life was that exciting.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, very
better than Tinder.
Très mouvementé.
I'll take your word for it.
Très mouvementé. Okay, well, all right, folks. That's it for this. We'll be right back with after this exciting commercial break. You won't want to miss this commercial break. It's amazing. So stay right there. We got some silly ads for you.
I'm planning for a shite Christmas.
It's finally here. Now that's what I call a Corona Christmas.
Socially distant.
The shot in the arm we've all been waiting for.
Got my gear on.
Christmas hit after Christmas hit.
The lockdown was over.
Lovingly ruined to help you not celebrate this Christmas.
Oh baby, there's COVID outside.
This long play double cassette CD comes with special 2-meter gaps between every song.
This comes to pass.
Johnny Mathis.
When a mask is worn.
Christmas favorites like
Sanitizers coming to town.
and even Boris himself.
Ba 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 ba, 'tis the season to be jolly bloody careful. Tra la 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 la.
And a special message to anyone thinking of venturing out.
Driving's banned for Christmas.
Plus, Frosty got furloughed.
Frosty was furloughed but he's still got loads of cash.
The perfect accompaniment for the party you won't be having.
We're not allowed a party tonight. In case the cops turn up, fine us all £1,000 and kick us all outside.
Plus the biggest event of the year, courtesy of Dominic Cummings.
Cummings drove to Dum-pa-pum-pum. Grandma's got to quarantine till Christmas, 'cause she flew to Benidorm last week.
Here comes more applause, here comes more applause every Thursday night.
And just released.
Pfizer's vaccine. 4 months of school, free school meals, 2 weeks at home, stay up.
The most contagious collection of Christmas songs ever recorded.
Stop the cabinet, stop the cabinet, stop the cabinet briefing.
Now that's a Corona Christmas, the perfect antidote to 2020.
Maybe it's COVID, who's to say? This cough won't go away. Can you stay 6 feet away?
Streaming live now from a 5G phone mast near you.
And now for the Silly Mid-Off report, for which I'm wearing a particularly silly mask. And we've had a marvellous start to the programme today. We've had Will telling us about the brains of dogs, or not as the case may be. We've been learning more about the secret passions of our guests, Agnes and her carp wrestling. And I hope we're able to send a film crew down to the south of Poland, and that will be appearing in a future programme. Guy has been telling us nothing at all about his life as a spy, which you would expect. And I've been doing not very much, sitting here at the end of the table. And more importantly than that, we've had a marvellous contribution from our Gore Vidal-like expert from Tallinn, Harold von Kursk, without whom no programme would be complete. Of course, that's not all. We've got a lot more to follow in the next session. We'll be discussing our favourite Christmas films. We'll be having the hipster update from Joanna. And we'll be also hearing again from Harold, which is we could never hear too much from Harold, about our favourite Christmas movies. And then there'll be a poetry slot, because this is a cultural programme. We're not just here to enjoy ourselves. And then I understand there'll be a secret culinary challenge from our Japanese hula hoop expert, Miho. So there's plenty to look forward to in the next part of this programme. Don't go away, because you will regret it, and we do know where you all live. Over to Will.
Well, thank you, Nick, for that refreshing and, I must say, comprehensive update. And that's what we pay you for. So, once again, you have earned your paycheck.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to a recitation later of one of the great...
Can you just confirm the cheque actually is in the post?
The check is in the post, and no, I promise not to... Never mind. Okay, the B part of that we can't do because this is a family show. Okay, so far, there's one family watching. And I know who that family is because I paid them to watch. Now, we have now the one of the most important things of the last year has been, of the Christmas season, are the trends that we have to pay attention to if we want to be cool. So we go now to our trend expert for the hipster update, Joanna Gaska. Joanna.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
As you know, we have a very exceptional year. This is a very, a lot of things are happening, a lot of things are changing. So these year's Christmas, right, are going to be more like Zoom Christmas or Skype Christmas, or like we have it right now, the connection here towards the whole country, whole city. So we are going to be more like Home Alone, and also our families are old probably, so they will be afraid of dying of everything.
No. That's why we're wearing masks, because we're all afraid of dying. Believe me, especially me. I have constant nightmares.
We have to connect in a different way than normally, not necessarily being forced to sitting at the table together. So maybe this is good news or bad news. I don't know.
Brings a whole new meaning to Silent Night.
So
Yeah, you've sit at the table.
the new song should be "I'm Dreaming of a Skype Christmas."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you were suggesting, yeah.
Yeah, and I've read also about some new trend in presents, right? So it's called mindfulness toys. I don't know what does it exactly mean. It's for calming down.
Neither do we, but I love it.
Yes, and thank you for not
So
sharing that with us.
probably something like balls to squeeze, for example.
What's that? What? What was that?
Balls to squeeze.
That looked like an orange.
Balls to squeeze.
Okay.
So to calm down, or maybe coloring the books, or something that can make your mind free of getting the new statistics of dying statistics of the
And infections, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my eyes are glued to those statistics every day. I start the day with that, so that I will continue to be depressed throughout the whole rest of the day. Joanna, you're also a really great artist. You know, we'll have to put some of your pictures in this. I bought one of your pictures, didn't I?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I really like it too. Everybody likes it when they come and see it at my office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it in your office, seriously?
I do. Yeah.
What's it of?
It's it's a picture. I mean, you know, it's of
It's a picture.
it's a picture of various ladies in various stages of undress.
Oh, right.
Okay.
What kind of
Yes,
picture?
yes, I'm trying to be a commercial artist. I'm not, you know.
Are they squeezing balls?
What?
Excuse me?
Christmas balls.
Agnes.
You're squeezing Christmas balls.
I'm increasingly impressed, Agnes.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're here.
Look at Agnes.
She's very, very excited.
Great, Scott. Okay, and what would you say is the one?
Toys.
Does anybody want to ask a question while we got Joanna here about the trends? Anybody got anything? You jump in.
What about things like pajamas now, Joanna? Are we seeing that trend because of Zoom Christmases and things like that? Are we seeing people dress up in holiday pajamas?
Yeah, I guess so. The market of pajamas is growing bigger. It's in the of the year.
And we're growing bigger. That's why the market is for bigger pajamas.
That's why I've
Speak for
chosen
yourself.
this kind of
Fancy wear.
dress code, right? Yes. Because it's actually a new luxury to be comfortable. I've read it in Vogue, so it's actually
Must be true then.
You're supposed to be reading Vogue. I mean, you're the hipster update. What more hipster magazine is there?
So,
Vogue.
what?
I know, no, Vogue is very important, very hipsterious, because all hipsters are all right now. It's like, you know, this is changing in time, right?
So how could we make Guy a hipster? What does he need to do? I mean, look at Guy. Let's turn Guy into a hipster.
I think that being a part of your show is actually very hipsterious. It's there's nothing more hipsterious than being a part of a talk show in Televizia Republika.
It's really trendy, right?
It is.
We're like punks, right?
Yes.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's something like it's that much uncool that it's super cool. I would
Yeah,
say.
that's us. Super cool.
Okay, Joanna, thank you very much. We'll continue to try to be super cool. What a great hipster, was it a hipster update?
Yes.
That's what it was. She told us that she would do everything she can personally to make Guy cool. But in fact, we already are cool
We're so
by the very fact that we are doing a talk show, a lighthearted talk show on a conservative station. Okay. That's what she said.
I think in summer you've
She thinks
captured
we're
the
We're so
essence.
uncool that we're cool.
Exactly.
We're
We've
like
come
Johnny
out of the
Rotten.
other side.
We're like Johnny Rotten.
The new
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And
We are
Nick
the new
it
cool.
really is. I
I-
mean,
I-
you should hear him reciting Anarchy in the UK. It's unmissable.
Yeah.
We'll do that on a future show.
Well, let's do it, yeah.
Yes, we will do. When we do our show about anarchy.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. And now over to Talon, to not only a scriptwriter, not only a director, not only a film critic, but someone who's been paid for a film script. and had an article recently in Frankfurter Allgemeine, what is it called?
Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, or otherwise known as the FATS.
That's easy for you to say.
It's Germany's New York Times.
Okay. All right, my dear, you have for us, and when I say my dear, I was talking to Joanna. Joanna, you look lovely. Thank you for being there.
Thank you.
Sort of like a cross between an Eskimo and an elf. In the best sense. In the best sense.
An elf.
In the best sense. We want to take you home and put you in our Christmas stockings. You're very lovely. You're very adorable.
Sell you my, I will sell my face to you. To your stockings, right? I would like them.
Well, I didn't understand that, but I want to say that I appreciate I just like looking at you.
Yeah.
And I want to go over and say, listen, get on to Guy and Agnes. They're rich. They're rolling in dough. Make them buy your paintings. That's it. And I get 10%. Okay. Harold.
Okay.
You're welcome. And you deserve it. Harold, you also deserve it. Now it's your floor. You get to follow the beautiful Joanna with your top 7 all-time Christmas classics, and then we're going to, go around the panel and argue about it, and bring out a carp for Agnes.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it would be interesting to help us get through the drudgery of a COVID Christmas with my top 7 Christmas classics. Standing in position 7 is a film not normally associated with the Christmas holidays, but it does take place during the season. It's Metropolitan, which is the indie film from Whit Stillman, which featured upper-class East Side kids in New York during debutante season, which would start just before Christmas, where kids get together and wear tuxedos and gowns and attend a variety of debutante balls. And this
Is there any mass murder involved? Are they like chased by a masked killer?
No, only Rudy Giuliani.
Then I don't want to watch that film. Okay, what's the next one?
Yes, the next one is Die Hard 2, which also takes place on Christmas Eve, just like in Die Hard 1. But I actually prefer Die Hard 2. I think it's a more interesting story. I think you have a great villain in Colonel Stewart, William Sadler. You also have Franco Nero as a Latin American general who's being flown back to Washington to stand trial for.
Hey, I never miss a Franco Nero movie. Okay, what's the next one?
All right. Number 5 would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo and all the kids from the first 2 National Lampoon films. And I think it's actually one of the better ones, although my personal favorite is still National Lampoon's European
Number
Vacation.
4.
Number 4, Miracle on 34th Street.
Finally, a Santa Claus movie. Man, you sounded like Scrooge there.
Miracle on 34th Street
Yeah.
with Edmund Gwynn and Maureen O'Hara, which is the story of a man who is convicted of
we know. Marina O'Hara's Scarlett O'Hara's sister. We know from Gone with the Wind. Okay, the next film?
My third Christmas favorite is something which is a film you either love or hate, and I do so in alternate days. It's Love Actually, which starred, of course, Keira Knightley, Colin Firth, and various other well-known.
Why do you hate it? Why do you hate? A lot of gals I know really love that film, but why do you hate it, Harold?
Well, because
alternately,
of its obscene kitsch factor, which is often the case in some Richard Curtis films.
It's saccharine.
Is so good. It's so bad that it's actually good in the end. There are some very, very good scenes, especially those involving.
Joanna likes it, and she's got the hipster outlook. So we're gonna have to. Okay, Joanna likes it. Okay, number two, Citizen Kane. Is it Citizen Kane?
Rosebud.
Harold, is number 2 Citizen Kane?
No, Citizen Kane is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Okay. I watch it every Christmas. Okay, go
Number
ahead.
2 on my list is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yeah, but you only like that because Trump's in it.
Hardly. But you said we wouldn't get into politics. So
That's not
No,
politics.
it's a
He's an
caveat.
actor in the film.
Ignore that remark.
He's an actor in the film. It's not politics.
We
It's
don't
real
want to
estate.
mix Santa Claus with the great Satan. I think that's unforgivable. But Home Alone 2 is brilliant. I think it's actually the best of the Home Alone films written by John Hughes. This one is directed by Chris Columbus. And once again, Macaulay Culkin is dealing with the baddies Joe Pesci or Pesci.
All right,
of the
so this
American
Columbus guy, when he finished discovering America, he became a
And then-
director. Okay.
Yeah.
Next film. What's number 1?
I think this is universally accepted. It's Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life
Ah, you agree with Santa Claus.
with the great Jimmy
As we'll
Stewart.
find out later.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever imagine a more brilliantly directed, a more beautifully scripted and acted film, which has many layers of meaning. And I think it makes many interesting reflections on society.
Bravo, Harold. Thank you for that list. And thank you for your an excellent list, by the way. Lots of different types of films. Miracle on 34th Street also has a young Natalie Wood, I think, doesn't it? Is that
You're
not
quite correct.
Is that correct? Okay,
Yes.
that's like her first film. So the other thing I like about your list is that it's not just it's movies that we watch at Christmas or are set at Christmas time, but they're not all these just necessarily Santa type films. But there are some good films remaining of both kinds, particularly. You guys want to jump in?
Trading Places.
Trading Places, is that a Christmas movie for you?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
I like any of the film adaptations of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol because that's such a wonderful story, and
Yeah.
it's a classic.
Well,
And if
yeah.
you see some of the earlier adaptations, with some of the great actors of the time,
Well, what's the story of Christmas Carol again?
Scrooge.
Scrooge.
Yeah, but for the people
Oh,
who might
it's-
not
it's
know, because
Dickens.
not everybody
This
is.
character Scrooge, who is, as the name suggests, very mean.
Yeah.
And he has a series of dreams at night, like Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come. And Christmas yet to come is quite horrific. But he is given, by the miracle of the day, he is given the chance to redeem himself. So when he wakes up from his dream on Christmas Day, he has the possibility of putting right what remains of his life. And he becomes a completely different character, very generous, goes to his family to celebrate Christmas and so on and so forth.
So even though I know the story, you got me going. That was a really good
but it's
explanation.
It really actually
Yeah.
sums up. It sums up
Yeah.
really the Christmas spirit. And because in a funny sort of way, I suppose you could say it even sums up the gospel message about redemption,
Yeah.
which of course Christmas is. We are supposed to be celebrating the birth of Christ.
Well, it comes back to It's a Wonderful Life, and I
Exactly,
think
that's another one. It's a redemption.
it's a similar. I
Exactly.
think Capra's taken that and updated it, hasn't he? And
Absolutely, bringing
yeah.
back
What do
the
you think,
spirit,
Agnes?
bringing back the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah.
And I, being here in Europe as an American, what I miss the most is things like Rudolph and the Land of Misfits. I miss the whole entire. It was a tradition in my family that we would watch these things, and it was always on every year. So for me, that's how I start my Christmas season. I watch all the Hallmark movies. I watch Rudolph and the Island of Misfits, and that's what brings me into the Christmas spirit. I also love the Christmas carols that we have back home, not so much the ones that we have here. It just seems more jolly.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, I love the Christmas music. It's one of my favorite
Yeah,
things too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think-
what about Christmas? Okay, there's one other. Let's talk about Christmas songs in a second. Everybody, think of your favorite Christmas song. Joanna, think of your favorite Christmas song, as well, and Harold. And we'll go through those in just a second. But I wanted to say one other thing that I loved when I lived in England was they always showed. At Christmas, there were certain films that weren't Christmas films, but they were shown at Christmas, and you had to watch them. And one of those is The Great Escape, which was a
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
tradition.
Great
The Great
film.
Escape. Now, that actually is interesting for our location here in Warsaw because we are broadcasting from beautiful downtown Warsaw, and the location of that film is in Western Poland.
Western.
So you can go there. I haven't been there yet. I want to go with the travel program Perhaps Nick will join me.
Yeah, we'll do travel and
We'll all
history
come along.
together.
We'll all go along. But it's an amazing place. You haven't been there. And they still have one of the tunnels is there. And as I understand, it's between Poznan and Wrocław.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be a really cool place to go and film. And then tell that whole story, which is one of the great stories of World War II, obviously. Yeah. Engineered. And Steve McQueen throwing the baseball in the cooler against the wall was one of the epic scenes. And then, of course, the motorcycle jumping. Richard Attenborough, the brains, preparing the whole thing. And James Garner stealing everything.
Donald Pleasance, great.
Donald Pleasance is their sort of accountant figure or whatever he was.
Exactly.
Organizing
Marvelous film.
Nuts and bolts, yeah. Beautiful
Will,
stuff.
may I chime in here?
Sorry?
Will, may I chime in here?
Please.
In the Christmas spirit. Yes, two of the films I miss which are regularly shown in North America at Christmas time. It's The Sound of Music, where, the great Julie Andrews film. And also from Germany, I should mention Dinner for One, which I think was actually made in England.
It was.
Maybe Nick can...
That's very appropriate for this year.
It's a very old film, but it's become...
Well spotted, Harold.
Yes, it's a very old film, but it's become a cult classic in Germany. Although it's a British film.
Thank you for that, for those, Harold, as our resident film critic, and excellent selections. Thank you for the discussion. But I want to ask you before we go, so we're running time to the next segment, but favorite Christmas song? Favorite Christmas song? Go, Agnes.
White Christmas and I'll Be Home for Christmas.
White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Yes?
I just love the great carols. Once in Royal David City.
Once in Royal David City, a great
I like the carols as well. Oh, come all you faithful.
Yes.
Oh, come all you faithful.
In the
Harold?
original Latin, preferably.
Absolutely.
In Latin, okay.
Adeste Fidelis.
Very
yes.
Catholic of you.
Of course.
Harold?
My favorite's actually, I agree with one of your panelists, White Christmas, the great Bing Crosby version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Joanna?
Santa Baby version Kylie Minogue.
Santa Baby, also a great one. Okay. And I will go with, what was that one by... Here It Is, Merry Christmas by Slade is one of my favorites.
That's a classic as well. Yes.
Just to lighten the tone. I love Bing Crosby, of course. You're all right about that's.
There's also Dominic the Donkey, which we haven't heard here, but it's an Italian Christmas. Yes.
Yes,
I was actually
Agnes.
speaking
I'm not
to-
surprised you raised that.
Dominic the Donkey.
It is
Dominic the
American
Donkey. Well,
Italian Christmas
you don't
song.
get better
It
than
is
that.
Quite
Okay.
funny.
Thanks everybody for that. That was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed that at home. And we go now to a very special interview with a fellow with a white beard and a red coat. I believe we caught him while he's Christmas shopping for Mrs. Claus. So let's go and meet Santa Claus. Has Mrs. Claus sent you out for shopping? Because you appear to be in your SUV.
Indeed, she has.
Ah, the ladies. And what is Mrs. Claus, what are you giving her for Christmas? Can you tell us? Do you know yet? Or is it you're still thinking?
Give her two things for Christmas every year: peace and quiet.
Given the rise of the PC police over the last few years, has there been pressure on you to raise the average wage rate of your dwarf slave army of helpers?
Harold, we run a non-unionized shop. They are all my servants.
There you go. So, and they get a living wage. Or do they work for room and board, or do you throw a coin in there, Santa?
We have no need for money at the North Pole. It's a social system.
Okay.
Everyone for everyone else's benefit.
It's a mixed economy. You're the Howard Hughes of the North Pole, and everyone lives. You pay your taxes, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps everybody in an igloo, more or less. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm a bit of an aviator, as am I myself, you know.
You're what? An innovator? What? An aviator like Harold Hughes. Harold Hughes. Howard Hughes. Sorry. Santa, can I ask you another question, if Nicholas will let me?
Of course.
Tiska Tasket, a green and yellow basket, or whatever. Yeah. Listen, Santa, what do you get for Christmas? I mean, for goodness sake, the whole world you carry on your shoulders. all the people you have to visit. What do you get? And if you don't get, what do you want if you don't know what you're getting yet?
Well, you know, little Willie, for some of us, we reach a stage in life where giving is the greatest reward. I need nothing but to give.
I had another question. Did you learn how to speak from those old Orson Welles Paul Masson wine ads on YouTube?
I wouldn't call those old.
Not in your terms, because you're eternal, of course. How old would you say you are there, Santa Claus? Can you give us a ballpark figure? A round figure? A round figure?
If we look back into the early beginnings of Asia Minor, before it was the Turkish Empire, indeed, that's where I hearken from.
You hearken from there? Now, what does that hearken thing mean?
In the North Pole, north of the Arctic Circle, in northern Finland, Lapland area, for some centuries at this point.
Good Lord. That Richard Burton could have learned a little diction from you, sir.
Could.
Your diction is amazing. Even Nicholas is here, mouth ajar. Or maybe it's just a jar in his mouth. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Or maybe they're marbles. But I come back to you, sir. And I say, where do you start on your journey over Christmas? Where do you start and where do you finish?
I start the international date line.
Okay.
Westward from there.
And you work westward. And you're able to get the whole world in 24 hours. Now, how fast will that there chariot of yours go?
Speed in mortal terms is not something you would be capable of expressing, because it is in the realm of magic.
So
to express it in miles per hour, kilometers per hour, is irrelevant.
Santa, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Have you got, or there maybe there's more than one, but some portrayal of yourself that you favor? Would it be Bad Santa, or would it be maybe Miracle on 34th Street, or something?
William, there is only one Christmas movie, and that is It's a Wonderful Life.
Thank you, Santa.
I saw Mummy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe last night. She didn't see me creep down the stairs to have a peep. She thought that I was tucked up in my bedroom fast asleep. Then I saw Mummy tickle Santa Claus underneath his beard so snowy white. Oh, what a laugh it would have been if Daddy had only seen Mummy kissing Santa Claus last night.
Well, that was brief and brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. It doesn't get better than that.
It is a non-canonical work.
Stay with us, folks. Now, a commercial break and some interesting Christmas ads that you may find amusing. Okay, I want to thank Joanna for being with us. Joanna, we'll see you on the next show. Your hipster updates are invaluable.
See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
Thanks for calling.
I believe we have a special guest star, Mihoe Sano. Yes, from Tokyo. No, she's not. She's closer than that.
Yes, you would.
Mihoe. No,
Yeah,
if I tell people you're in Tokyo, they don't know.
Little Tokyo.
Yes, I have to say I'm in Tokyo.
Yes, that's what I wanted you to say.
My background is in Warsaw.
But your what is
Nobody
in?
knows.
Your workshop is in Warsaw. What?
Oh, no, you know, this is a virtual background. It's in Warsaw.
Oh, and
But,
beautiful
yeah.
downtown Warsaw. Yes, Mihoi, you're the only Japanese person I know in Central Europe, and that makes
Oh,
you very
really?
special. Yeah, it makes you very special to me. I don't know the ambassador or any of those people who are running around over there because I have you. If I need to know anything about Japan, I call you. Okay. So what about Japanese Christmas? You know, what's going on? What do you?
Christmas is more commercial.
Do you have Santa
couple.
Claus? Do you have Santa Claus in Japan?
Yes, I think so. And if you come to Japan in this season, you must be surprised because there are a lot of Christmas illumination in Tokyo, and it is actually very beautiful.
Oh, great. A lot of
And-
decorations. Okay.
Yeah.
Mihoi, you're also known as a great hula hoop champion, and we're going to show some of your film as the show ends, of you doing some magnificent hula hoop. I mean, we met you in the park. That's how we got to know each other. I was filming a travel segment, and you were hula hooping in the middle of the park, and you were nice enough to come and talk to us. And listen, my life has never been the same since that day. And at any rate, what I want to say is, Nicholas, in the spirit of competition, because you are also an excellent baker and chef.
Actually, I have Makoviets. Just a moment.
You have something?
My Makoviets.
Makovia, it's a poppy seed strudel.
You have a poppy seed cake.
Poppy
Oh,
seed.
yes.
Yes.
Now look. Nick, I told that you were going to be on and you would show some of your food. So Nick stayed up all night baking a loaf of bread. Can you see it? Can you see the bread here
There we go.
It looks
on the
yummy.
table?
Oh, there we
And
are.
Nick, cut that up. We're going to have a little. We'll have a little
Want to
Christmas.
cut it up now?
Yeah,
But this is a work of art. It's not for eating.
it's not very. Cut us off
It's a
some
prop.
pieces.
Yes, it's
Cut us
fine.
off some pieces. And we are going to share this spiritually with you, Harold.
Oh, I want to taste it.
Yes, everybody
Hey,
wants to taste
Mihoi,
it.
I am hungry.
you're hungry. I know. Harold is. Nicholas is making you very jealous
Yeah.
with
Look
this
at
loaf.
that.
Look at that.
Look at
look
that.
at
I
that.
mean, for anybody
Yes, yes,
Miho.
I know.
Miho, I think that you.
just look at the crumb on that. I mean, if anybody knows.
Wait a second. We got to end the segment, and we got to end the show in just a second. But Mihoi, I want you and Nick to get together and have a bake-off, a baking contest,
after
and we're going to
COVID,
film that, and we,
After
and in the break of the baking contest, Agnes will wrestle a carp. Okay, so all right, Mihoi.
Actually, it should be after COVID.
Mihoi, konnichiwa and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Harold, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. From us in the studio, we got to dig into this bread in just a second. Okay,
You are
I want to
eating
thank.
bread.
What?
You are eating bread with
Yes, we're going to eat the bread.
We are.
At any rate, thank you for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for our next show next week, which will be a look back at 2020 and all of the stuff. It's the only way to describe it without getting
There's
graphic.
been a lot of stuff.
All right. Thanks
bags.
to my guests, Agnes,
Thank you.
Guy, and Nicholas, no relation Richardson. And we'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching.